This morning on DC News Now, a teenager found shot and killed outside of a Virginia grocery store. Deputies with an update on the investigation. And the 70s return to start off the week, but we're also going to be dealing with the threat of storms later tonight. Meteorologist Jackie Layer has the latest timing. The White House quiet on plans to return a mistakenly deported man to the U.S. Advocates calling on the government to do more.
They intend to comply with the order and bring him back. That's the bare minimum.
And tax tips as the deadline approaches. What you need to know before you file. And a celebration in the district honoring DC's history. People sharing lessons Emancipation Day has for present-day struggles.
I think this was just a reminder of what emancipation really means.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning, and thanks for starting your Monday with us here on DC News Now. I'm Tanaya Wright.
And good morning. I'm Shanika Grimshaw in for Corey James. I'm going to take a look at your roads in just a minute. But first, we want to talk to meteorologist Jackie Layer with the check on the forecast. How's it going to look this week?
Yeah, I mean, out there this morning, starting off with a couple sprinkles, but not everyone's seeing that. It's later on this evening that you do want to stay weather aware for the threat of some strong to severe thunderstorms ahead of a cold front today. And it looks like Friday will be the two warmest days of the week with those highs back in those 70s. Now, out there right now, a couple of those sprinkles, mainly down towards the Stafford area and even across southern Maryland at this point. Again, very spotty. Not everyone's seeing those sprinkles. Now, a wider view of satellite and radar shows us that system back out towards the Midwest. That warm front will drift in. That will allow those high temperatures to be back in the 70s. Followed quickly by that cold front. That cold front later this evening firing up some strong to severe thunderstorms, which is why we do have that slight risk for much of the area. That's 2 out of 5 on that severe scale. That's for DC and areas westward. But again, that's for later this evening after sunset for the development of some of those strong to severe thunderstorms. So much of the day today will be dry out there. That warm front lifts in. There's that cold front approaching the area closer towards 8 p.m. for our far western areas, closer towards DC 10, 11 p.m. tonight. So again, it's later this evening and later on tonight, that time frame for some of those strong to severe thunderstorms. More details on this and that 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Shanika?
All right. Hey, Jackie, let's take a look at the roads right now. We are looking at Springfield. This is the inner loop, 495 heading northbound near Braddock Road. There's a crash there, and you are seeing the far right side. That will be blocked, and I do believe that's a part of the shoulder and one lane. So just take it easy there. And it is a bit busy right in that area there. It's crowded because of that crash. But again, you're still in the early hours of the morning, just at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. So not expecting much of a delay. Hopefully that'll be moved out of the way shortly. Taking a look at Silver Spring here, inner and outer loop through Montgomery County. You're seeing more cars heading westbound on 495. Now on 29, you are starting to see delays heading southbound. That's in the Four Corners area. We do have a single vehicle crash. We have an investigation underway, so it doesn't sound good. So I would avoid just that one stretch there. That is a little past White Oak on 29. Again, heading southbound. If you're trying to get to the Beltway, you're going to need a detour.
Well, developing now, DC police searching for 2 juveniles after bullets hit an unmarked cruiser with an officer inside. Now, this happened just after 8 o'clock last night near Savannah Street in Southeast. Fortunately, no one was injured. Police say the 2 suspects fled the scene on rideshare bikes. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. And in Virginia, the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office investigating a deadly shooting that happened over the weekend. This happened Saturday night on Hillmont Terrace in the Broadlands. Investigators say they found a teenage boy shot in a car near a shopping center. He later died. Deputies have not released the teen's name. Anyone with any information is asked to call the sheriff's office.
And in Maryland, a Prince George's County police officer has been suspended from the force after being involved in a bar fight. This happening Saturday afternoon in Northwest DC at a bar near DuPont Circle. According to the police report, Lieutenant Jerry Ingram punched an employee in the face who was trying to break up a fight. Lieutenant Ingram, who has been on the force for over a decade now, is now being charged with second-degree assault. It is unclear how long his suspension from the department will last. And a Potomac family is now without a home after a fire broke out in their garage yesterday morning. Crews responded to the fire on Piney Meeting House Court. That is near River Road. Officials say everyone got out safely and were told the fire was accidental and started from a wall outlet charging an electric vehicle in the garage. They estimate the damage to cost $80,000. And 6:04 this morning, a timeline for the return of a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador has judges, officials, and community members wanting answers.
That is right. This comes after the Supreme Court ruled the Trump administration must bring him back to the U.S. Our Jean-Marie Sasay live at the White House this morning. Jean-Marie, what do we know this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Well, the White House did confirm that 29-year-old Kilmar Abrego Garcia is alive and secure in an El Salvadorian prison. But now loved ones and also officials are asking when will he be returned back to the U.S. and what steps are being taken. And so far, the White House hasn't given any clear answers. Now, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was deported back in March to El Salvador despite having a protective order from being deported to his native country due to fear of persecution from local gangs. Now, the White House did admit that the deportation was an administrative error, but they are maintaining that Abrego Garcia is a part of the MS-13 gang, although he was never charged with the crime. Now, recently, the Supreme Court ruled the Trump administration has to return Abrego Garcia back to the U.S., and a district court judge asked for updates on his well-being. Now, they say he is alive and secured in the Terrorism Confinement Center in El Salvador on Saturday, and also added nothing to that on Sunday. Now, the big question that the White House has not answered: what steps are being taken and when will Abrego Garcia be returned to the U.S.? And according to the Associated Press, a judge is considering asking Abrego Garcia's lawyers to compel the government to explain why it should not be held in contempt. Now, Abrego Garcia is a husband and also a father of 3, and also expected to happen today here on Monday. The president of El Salvador will be visiting the White House as well. For now, reporting here in Northwest D.C., I'm Jean-Marie Sasay, DC News Now.
All right, thank you, Jean-Marie. Well, neighbors in a small Virginia town are petitioning to recall several town leaders after they voted to get rid of the police department. Percival Town Council announced the decision last week. The move expected to save the town at least $3 million a year. Now, the mayor is among those who want the police department gone and replaced by the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. One council member says he does not agree with this decision.
Residents are furious, and rightfully so. Any officers who leave to get other jobs because they have to feed their families and put food on the table, it's going to take a long time to bring those staffing numbers back up to where they are currently.
A final vote for getting rid of the police department is expected to happen next Tuesday.
And the Social Security Administration is denying reports that they'll begin exclusively communicating through X. This coming after a substantial cut to staffing and multiple reports saying they would shift away from traditional press releases. There have been considerable changes made to the agency under the Trump administration that have raised concerns in rural communities, like if field offices will be closing. Since February, the SSA has cut around 7,000 jobs. And the White House releasing President Trump's physical exam results. The president's doctor says he is fully fit to serve as the commander-in-chief. The exam revealing Trump lost 20 pounds since his last checkup as president. His doctor says Trump's active lifestyle is helping his well-being.
And the Trump administration saying that a new semiconductor tariff is going to be coming in a month or two. This is coming after an exception was made for tariffs on electronic goods. Now, that exception also includes smartphones, laptops, and certain computer chips. Trump saying that China will face a 20% tariff due to their alleged role in trafficking fentanyl to the U.S. He is also hoping this brings manufacturing back to America. And tomorrow is the deadline to file your 2024 taxes.
Yes, the time is here. So for those who have not filed yet and are looking to save a few bucks, we've got some tips to help you out. The IRS has a number of options to help last-minute filers if your tax situation is pretty straightforward. People living in 25 states, including Maryland, for our area, you can use IRS Direct File to file your taxes, and that's for free. So stay with us. Our Candace Cole has more tips to help you in the next half hour. You can hear it there. You could see it. Fireworks going off in the district last night to celebrate Emancipation Day. The day marks the end of slavery in the district over 160 years ago. DC News Now's Dave Laval was able to capture all the festivities taking place at the newly named Freedom Plaza.
Excel Academy has the beat. But this day is about more than music. Kids get to have fun while adults take it all in at Freedom Plaza as part of the annual D.C. Emancipation Day celebration.
I'm enjoying it. The kids are enjoying it. I'm enjoying everybody smiling and laughing. It's a beautiful day overall. Live bands, food, vendors. There's a lot going on.
We all out here. It's all love, all positive for the kids.
The annual parade drew thousands of people along both sides of Pennsylvania Avenue. The parade is just part of the event's 20th anniversary. Amidst the fun is a reminder of the day's meaning. The D.C. Compensated Emancipation Act of 1862 ended slavery in the district and freed 3,100 people. Sunday's celebration comes as the district continues fighting to be free of congressional oversight.
We needed this, and I think this was just a reminder of what emancipation really means.
Right now it's looking kind of bad, but at the end of the tunnel is always a light.
Most, though, just wanted to take in the sun and the fun.
The holiday actually falls on April 16th, but all of the celebrations, including this one, take place on the Sunday before that. At Freedom Plaza in Northwest, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Thank you, Dave. Well, in Northern Virginia, the Arlington Historical Museum Society will reopen after months of renovations. ARLnow.com are reporting the museum closed last summer for repairs. It is going to reopen with several new exhibits, including one called Memorializing the Enslaved. Now you can start visiting on Saturday, May the 3rd. 6:11 now on a Monday. The biggest night of the year for DMV restaurants is nearly here.
Yeah, coming up, taking a look at the finalists for this year's Rammy Awards. Also ahead, Virginia making a move to stamp out porch pirates, the penalty you can now face for stealing mail in the Commonwealth.
But first, we are taking a live look outside. Jackie, what can people expect when they step out?
Now, out there right now, we do have a couple areas with some light sprinkles or drizzle. Aside from that, we're looking at those mainly cloudy skies to start, but we do have a storm threat for later on this evening and tonight. More details, the timing, and the impacts right after the break.